You are listening to the War Report.
Let's pivot and talk about Auburn football. It's still portal season, guys. And last week we've been keeping up with a lot of the additions that have come. We talked about the kid from Kentucky who's coming on to play for Auburn, but Auburn picked up a linebacker, had two linebackers visit over the course of the weekend, and Austin Keys. It was announced yesterday that he will be an Auburn Tiger. Good size linebacker, 6'2", 245. But this guy graded out fairly well, according to Pro Football Focus this past season. Had some pretty decent stats, played all 12 games last year for Mississippi State. I believe he picked up about 39 tackles, around there. 39 tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. Pretty productive guy. Instant thoughts about this pickup. I will start with you, Mike G.
We need help at linebacker. That's for damn sure. Linebacker play was, to me, was borderline awful last year. In the spots that we missed tackles, it was always critical. Giving up touchdowns, picking the wrong gaps, man. Now we let go of the linebacker coach, so I mean that should say something. I think he was a nice guy. He was real liked, but the development at linebacker just wasn't there. Owen Papo should have been a second-round pick, if you ask me, and he never developed into that guy. So going out and getting experienced help at linebacker is going to be super important. I'm glad to see that they're not done in the portal yet, right? Like they seem to be attacking the portal. As far as I know, I think Auburn has the second-ranked portal class in the country. So they're doing work and they're filling needs, but they're not just throwing bodies and stars at the team, right? They're going for areas of need, which is important. So this guy's going to he may play a key cog. I keep saying it, man. Like these guys have so much to evaluate during the spring. I don't know, bring in some extra analysts, like something. I'm struggling to see how they're going to do it. I'm sure they're going to do it, but man, this is a task at hand with all these new talent that they have to evaluate, seeing how guys play with each other. And those 15 practices are going to go by quick with all this new talent. So, linebacker is one of those areas where there's going to be a lot of focus. I watched a little bit of his tape. He could play. Right? And he's going to have to fit in this great scheme. I think, like you said, we're going to be running more of a 3-4 kind of deal this year.
So it's going to vary based upon what the team is. It's a base 3 down lineman, and then what you have on the back end is going to vary. So 4 linebackers, 3 linebackers, 2 linebackers, and then they might sneak an additional guy into a 4-man. It's going to be a multiple defense.
Yeah. So Keys multiple. So Keys' importance in this 3-4 and the 3-4 schemes, I think is going to be super important. Man, we're going to be putting linebackers on the field, dude. Now there are some incumbents who I assume are not ready to give up playing time. So it's going to be a battle. Linebackers are going to be fun to watch, I think.
For sure. This guy projects as your middle linebacker. Obviously, we picked up Demario Tolan earlier in the week, the LSU transfer kid. Some people believe he projects to play on the outside. Over the past few years, Auburn there hasn't been a big rotation at linebacker. Maybe that's just because of a lack of productivity. You can only rely on a few guys, but we've seen guys switch in and out, defensive back, front 4, the defensive line, but usually once we found our guys at linebacker, that's been it. Do you think that we'll see kind of a change with that moving forward as we begin to grab more bodies? Because we still have a lot of guys in the linebacker room in addition to these 2 pickups. But how do you see this shaking out down the road under Hugh Freeze's new staff?
I mean, ideally, your middle linebackers are not going to be in a heavy rotation. Those are going to be the guys that need to be stable. It's the guys on the outside. And again, it's going to be how many linebackers are on the field may change depending upon how teams, how the defense wants to scheme against that team. And then they're going to have sub packages in there for down and distance type of stuff that will rotate those guys in. So you will have an opportunity for guys to get playing time, but whoever lines up at the 2 middle linebacker spots are going to be the guys that will be probably the most constants, unless there's just some guy who is so versatile on that outside linebacker end where they can drop back in coverage and they can rush the passer and they can set the edge. If you can do all of those things, then you're going to earn yourself more snaps, but that'll probably be a rotational sub package situation with that. But there will be some rotation, but it'll be probably more about scheme of down distance and against a particular offense.
Yeah.
This guy graded out exceptionally well. I wasn't impressed with Ole Miss's defense, but I think it was more of a scheme issue that I had with them.
They're just small. They were a small defense from like just all around. So it was difficult. It's going to be difficult when you're running a 3-3-5 if you don't have those hybrid types that can do what I'm talking about, where it's like I can play tough against the run and I can drop back, and your 3 down linemen need to be dominant
monsters.
Like you
they need to
really
be monsters.
You can't have just okay guys up front, and that's not. Well, no, that is saying something specific about the Ole Miss down 3. They're good, but they're not great. And you need to be a great defense, and you're going to have a 3-3-5. You have to have great 3 down linemen that are out there, or you've got to have excellent linebackers that make up. Like you can't just have average or okay at every level and be great in that scheme. It doesn't work.
Yeah, let's be real. Ole Miss was playing little boy Pee Wee defense all year, right? Like